Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Special coverage of the late pick 4 at Santa Anita on Saturday. It's a $500,000 guaranteed pool, 50-cent minimum wager, 2 graded stakes on the docket. We already have those graded stakes previews up on drf.com. We begin with race number 6, a mile on the turf. It's an optional claiming race. And this is sort of like a listed stakes quality field.
You have a lot of quality in here. I had a hard time narrowing down who I felt strongest about. I didn't have a hard time narrowing down who I considered the contenders. It was just from there, how do you split them up? I think if Fabatzi runs his most recent start, he's a giant chance in here. I really like that most recent effort. Curlin Rules, I can say the exact same thing for. The problem is, it seems like there's going to be some other speed in this race, and I wonder if that's just going to work against him. I do like turning back from 9 to 8, though. Blinkers go on. And the other one that I'm really going to hone in on is Gangster. I thought Gangster, considering the ground loss and the way that race was run, I thought Gangster ran very well.
I agree with you. Let's take a look at Matt's ticket maker play for the first leg. Gangster, the number 12. Boy, he took the worst of it from a tough outside post position. He was in with a big chance turning into the stretch, and he finally felt the effects of the ground loss. The problem is another terrible post here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to overcome that. The good thing for him is he should have some pace to run at. That part I don't want to hold against.
Let's talk about your backups. The B is Zip the Monkey, and Zip the Monkey did some really nice things 2 starts back at Del Mar, where he beat a couple of next out winners, including a talented horse, and He Will.
Yeah, that's kind of the move with this horse, where if I can get that run 2 back, I think he's got a big chance in here. If he runs the most recent start, he has no chance, and I can even say if he runs the run 3 back, he has no chance, but he's going to be every bit of 15 to 1.
Is your Seahorse Path of David a loyalty play? You've always liked them.
A little bit, but also, you go back and look at the Mathis Brothers mile. I understand his form recently has been terrible. He never got a chance to run. He was in behind horses, and there's almost a part of me that looks at it and says, if Conquest Enforcer turns into what most people have made him out to be, you could argue that this is, I don't want to say it's a drop in class, but it's parallel anyway.
There's Matt's ticket maker ticket for the first leg. 8, 9, 12A, 5B, 6C. Let's take a look at my ticket maker play. Spreading a little bit in here, it does seem like a very interesting race. I'm going to use the 9 Curlin Rules. I'm going to use the 12 Gangster. And I'm also going to use the number 2 Play Hard to Get. Now, Play Hard to Get's got a little bit of back class. He showed 3 starts back that he can still run a little bit. 96 Buyer speed figure, got bumped at the start. Widest turning into the stretch, came with a little bit of a run. Last time out, yes, that was a disappointing performance where he just did not get involved. But as we mentioned, there is pace in this race. He is now taking a substantial drop in class. My main concern is we need a little more ground.
He may need some more ground, certainly, because you look at it, seems like he's in his best going 1.25 miles, 1.375 miles. I just personally have never loved this horse, but at the end of the day, would it be a stunner if he ran? No, he's got all the buyer speed figures you could possibly ask for.
Let's move to the dirt for the second leg of this $500,000 guaranteed late pick 4 at Santa Anita on Saturday afternoon. It's an optional claimer, non-winners of one other than is the condition, and there's speed in this race as well.
There is, and that's going to be the interesting thing, is to see who ultimately breaks on top, because if Plain Lucky doesn't hit the front, I think she's in deep water. The other problem with Plain Lucky is she has a bad time going around the corners. When she turns for home, she floats many paths off the rail. I think if Bejarano gets her to the front, though, she's going to be a handful. The other horse that I'm going to key in on is Avicii. Avicii looked tremendous most recently. I get it that it was against weaker. It was in for 25 open. But you look and face, Peter Miller claims her after a win. He's done very well with that move recently. The turn back to 6 is a little bit of a concern for me. I think she's probably better at 7/8, but those are the 2 big ones for me in here, 5-6.
Matt's ticket maker play, including the second leg of this pick 4. 5-6. Plain Lucky, I agree with you, is the speed of the speed. In her last 2 figs on dirt, 80 and 86 makes her a prime player. Avicii probably gets the run of the race. There's speed to her inside. She probably works out a really nice trip tracking, and if she can run that most recent race, and this is a Peter Miller claim, boy, she's going to be very tough. I'm interested in your backups. The 3 Pico Chick handled a wet track last time out, and as we mentioned in a couple of other previews this week, weather is uncertain in Southern California. She might get a wet track again.
And if she gets a wet track, that's obviously something that she can handle. If she gets a dry track, I feel like this is just a horse that ever since Eddie Truman's gotten her, she's just slowly getting better. I've loved each of her past 3 starts. I think there's a lot to like here. And selfishly, although I don't have her as an A, I'm kind of rooting for her because I think she's going to go off at a bigger number than maybe she should.
2 and the 7 are your C's. Let's take a look at my ticket maker play. with leg 2 added. I'm going to use the 5, Plain Lucky, the big speed. I'm going to use Avicii as a B. I'm a big fan of Calm the Sea. You always have to wonder when you see 5-year-olds with 2 lifetime starts, where has she been? She's probably had her share of physical problems. I really liked her career debut about a year ago. That was just an excellent effort. She beat a couple of next out winners. She was involved in a multi-horse pace scrum, and she emerged to win. Last time out, I thought it was an interesting spot. I was curious to see what we were going to get off the layoff. She caught a sloppy track. The pace was pretty fast in that Plain Lucky race, and she flattened out. With that race under her belt, I think she could work on a tracking trip in behind the leaders, and maybe, just maybe, she can improve. She runs anything close to that 85 from her debut.
She wins.
She got a big shot.
I think that's one of those where, you know, like you say, you've got enough built-in excuses for that most recent start. Off the layoff, wet track, X, Y, and Z, fast pace. I think if she runs the debut, she has every right to win.
Third leg of the $500,000 guaranteed late pick 4s, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day, the Grade 2 San Antonio Stakes. If you head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com, free Formulator Pass performances are waiting for you, as well as the preview video that we've done. From pick 4 standpoint, I think we're pretty much on the same page. Let's throw up your ticket maker play for leg 3. You're going with the upside. You're going with the 5, that is More Spirit, making his second start off a long layoff, and you're going with Accelerate, another horse going second off the bench, but a horse that's got proven potential at this distance.
I think they're the 2 most likely winners, arguably, in the race. And notice there's no opportunity on my ticket anywhere, just because I think he's up against it from a pace standpoint. I also question overall where he is form-wise, and again, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh for throwing him out for one bad race, but I don't know that the pace of this race is going to work in his favor either.
But I like your backup in here. You're throwing a price in here, and a price horse with an angle. That is that El Huerfano, the number 4, should be the speed nearest the rail in this spot, and if the track comes up wet, he ran arguably his career best race last time out over a muddy strip.
And hey, let's be honest, if he doesn't hit the front, he's got no shot. I'm going to call that. I think he's going to the front. I think he's controlling speed. He ran too well to lose most recently against cheaper, I get it. If the track is any way tilted towards speed, which it has been on going 2 turns, I think he's got a big chance. I want him involved in a play using my all A's, all B's with Ticketmaker.
Now, like you, I'm throwing out opportunity. The
probably
class
does.
of the race is going to be one of the favorites, if not the outright favorite. Let's take a look at my ticket maker play. Like Matt, my A's are the same. The 5, More Spirit, who I think is coming back into his own after that good effort in the Malibu off the long layoff. The 7, Accelerate, who I think works out a really nice stalking trip in here. I think El Orfano makes the front, Dalmore sits second, Accelerate sits third on the outside, and we'll see if Accelerate, when Tyler asks the question entering the turn, responds positively. He ran okay over a wet track last time out, pace compromised behind Midnight Storm. Remember, folks, again, the 3, Prospect Park, scratched out of the Grade 2 San Antonio. We'll close out this $500,000 guaranteed pick 4 with a nice turf race. Race number 9 is the Grade 2 San Marcos Stakes. Scratch the 7, Gusnado, scratch the 9, Conquest Daddio, scratch the 10, Some in Time, but it's still an evenly matched field, and it's a spread race for me.
For me, it's hone in. I'm in on 2 at this point. I'm saying, you know what, we're going to roll with High Happy. He's the one that I want to have everything alive to if I can. Maybe he's not this good. I just have a sneaky feeling that the Seabiscuit that we saw at Del Mar was not truly representative or indicative of his ability. I'm also going to use, I think, the most likely winner in the race, Texas Rayano. He's just too sharp right now to throw out, in my opinion.
Let's put up Matt's completed ticket maker pick 4 play. High Happy and A, very logical. Texas Rayano coming off a huge win over Ashley Loves Sugar, who won the California Cup Turf Classic last week, is his B. And again, ticket maker available on DRF.com and, of course, in Formulator as well. This race to me was just a little bit more difficult. I agree with you 100% on High Happy. I thought he was just a little bit short in his most recent start, and he flattened out late. We're going to put up my ticket in a moment. I like 20/20 Vision a little bit in here simply for his consistency. He's usually right there. He draws in a little bit with some of these scratches, so he's not all the way hung to the outside. Does he really want to beat you? I think that's the question that handicappers have to ask.
He was the last one for me to throw out, and it was just simply because of that. I would have used him as a C, but then realistically, if my A's connect and he's the one, what's it going to pay peanuts anyway? And I don't entirely trust him.
I'll also use Texas Rayano. the horse to beat. My B's are the 1, a red tie day, simply because I think he's going to work on a trip under Corey right here. Breaking from the inside post, I expect Nakatani to break, settle for the pocket behind the speeds, and perhaps he can work something out. He's capable of running a fast race, but like 20/20 Vision, often he doesn't get over the hump. The number 3 is interesting to me, and that is It's in the Post, who just seems to be getting better and better for trainer Jeff Mullins. We had a negative formulator fact from Mullins in the stakes preview, but this horse is going to be a good price. His most recent turf races are good.
Well, that's the other thing, too, to keep in mind with Ticketmaker particularly. You add in horses that maybe you don't consider the most likely winners, but you know they're going to blow this thing up if they do connect.
It's a really fun sequence, races 6 through 9. You and I will be on for all the updated news, analysis, handicapping opinions, tweaks to our ticket, etc. on DRF Live, live.drf.com, beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday afternoon. And the first leg of this $500,000 guaranteed wager is at 3 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.